Exceptional treat today, my good friends. Amazing discovery, if I do say so myself. After watching the Science Channel, they are going through mythical beasts. Absolutely fabulous. Now, drawing all the wrong conclusions, but they are going through mystical beasts saying, oh, they must have thought this, and oh, they were so scared that they would make up all these silly tales about the things in the past. And I'm thinking, you people are the ones that are doing this. So anyway, here we go with the dragon in Morocco. Everybody's been to Mudfossil University, understands the dragon in Morocco. 1,000 miles long. That's his head, and he's spitting out this stuff at the giant fish's fin right below. So let's swoop out and see it in its totality, so that we understand what we're dealing with. All right, here we are. This is Northern Africa. This is Spain, Madrid, and the Mediterranean Sea, and so forth. Now, this is a giant fish, and he comes down. That's his fin up there, and the tail comes down around here, and these are the scales. We'll zoom in and look closer. That is the dragon. That's the spit of whatever he's spitting at. You're going to see it is nasty. And it comes down here. He goes all the way down to here. And we'll look at the tail, and we'll look at the neck, and then I'm going to show you how he can develop that stuff. This is the exciting thing that I discovered today. So let's dig in a little deeper. But first of all, let's just quickly look. See, that's a fish. If you don't see it's a fish there, I don't have a whole lot of advice other than lens crafters. Now, these are the scales. That's his fin. That's his, the tail. Now, the eye might be there, whatever, but it's a little obscured in the front. Now, the dragon's head is right there. Okay, so now the dragon apparently is trying to kill the fish. All right, so whatever the dragons spit out, this is the stuff. Now, you see it's all red and nasty looking here, and then it comes down and it gets really, really, really bad down in here, and then it like combusts right in this area. That's like almost combustion. That's a chemical devastation, let's put it this way. I would not want to be walking around in there barefoot. Now, as that comes down, it just does something and combusts. This whole area gets inflamed with some kind of violent, almost like lightning of fleshy destruction. I don't know what to say, but this is almost still looks vital, this flesh. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think this was that long ago. That flesh is not that old looking to me. Now, but this is all rotted out because of the spit. Now, so where did that come from? Now we're going to go into look at the whole story here, and I'm going to show you how I finally discovered this, because I just could not get this through. I couldn't figure it out. And after watching the Science Channel, they spit this, they spit that. No, nothing does that. And it's a tail's, a snake's tongue that they were thinking was the dragon flames and all this. They rationalize everything with nothing. Absolutely amazing. And then, I've been showing this for years. Nobody just, dragon does have a nice day. Well, there's a lot of people looking, but there's not a single one that is in these, just like this Science Channel. That just came out today, brand new series. And they're talking about silliness and how silly it is that the dragons existed. They don't exist. Well, they do exist. And they did exist. Or I don't know if they exist now, but damn sure did. Roger, once again, Mudfossil University. Yes, I know, talking about the dragon again. Well, I have some new information, my friends. Now, what new information, Roger? Well, I'm glad you asked. The new information is, how did this dragon spit all of this nasty stuff onto that fish? What is the source of that nasty stuff? We see the fish is here. I know the fish is there. That was the vital flesh. This is the destroyed flesh. Here's the dragon. Anybody that's been here has seen this for years, absolutely for years. And I've been screaming and saying, why doesn't anybody pay attention to this? How can you miss this? Astronauts from space say, I can see this little thing over here. Can't see that. All right, let's get past this. Let's just see what we have to offer today. Now, this dragon runs all the way over to the Mediterranean Sea. And, I'm just going to do it because I have to do this every time nobody realizes it or believes. This is the end of the tail of the dragon. Well, towards the end, it goes further. But that is the runoff and the decaying blood that's running from that tail. Now, whether it was punctured there or it just eventually decayed from there, I cannot say for sure. But I can find where the injuries happen up by the dragon's head. Now, here's the dragon's head right here. All right? Now, let's just stop here and look. All right? Take your time, look at it slowly. Now, this is the nose, that little funny bumpy nose that they have, and it comes back, and this is the flashy stuff. Now, I don't know if that's his eye or not, or they have a spot there, and his eye is up here somewhere, but this is that fluty looking stuff that's on the side, and that fluffy, flashy stuff that goes along with it, the fuzzy looking stuff. You see it down here? Boom, boom, boom. It goes, you know, you see them on all the dragons in China and things like that. Now, I don't know if this is... You know, they say there's different types of dragons. They lived in different areas and they had different characteristics. Now, I don't know. I'm just reporting what I see here, and this is what I see. Now, so that dragon and his dragon scaled throat is right in here. You see all these dragon scales coming down his throat, coming down his throat. You see that? These are all dragon scales. And it goes all the way down and 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 down for hundreds of miles. So I'm thinking to myself, how? And of course you can see all of the runoff. That is the signature of decomposition. And I'm just going to show you something, and then we'll go on just to prove what I'm saying is true. Because you know, some people don't have any expertise here, and I've been doing this for many years, and I can show you it's true. All right, again, I apologize for these, but this is you have to see this. You see the red and the black? That's what happens to bodies. Now, this person, as it looks like he's face down, no, he's face up. That is the back of his leg is laying down there, and that's the ends of his muscles. And then there's that hook that comes up, blood runs down and collects down in there. You see, this is where this happens. That's his heel bone. He's facing up. All right, and that's just how the body decomposes as it lays there, and the chemistry of the body breaks down. Okay, so back to the dragon. Now, what do we have here? We can see that same decay, that runoff, the decomposition. We see this huge, enormous body. It runs all the way over to the Mediterranean Sea. It's 1,000 miles long. And it is what it is. Now, again, this is a giant fish. It's a giant fish. And if you go look, there's a giant fish's tail that comes around here, and the scales of the giant fish, and this is the giant fish's fin. Now, the giant dragon spit something out of here which attacked the fish and ate into its vital flesh here, destroying it. And that is absolutely evident. And let's follow that back to the source. Because I said to myself, well, how did this thing create this nasty stuff? I mean, it's terrible, nasty. And here's where it comes in and starts combusting in the area where it starts to combust with the fish and so forth. And when I say combusting, I mean chemically. I don't know if it exploded. It doesn't look like fire or anything. But here's how it comes down. Look at this stuff. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so, I mean, just a look of it, you can tell it's not something you want to be around. Now, where did it come from? Well, it came out of the dragon's mouth. So I said, well, how could that dragon spit that out of his mouth? You know, we know they did it. So I start looking around. I go, wait. I said, well, okay, he's got to be spitting it from somewhere. And then I see down here this little spot right here. And I said, ooh, that looks pretty serious. That looks like it could be hot. So I start tracing around. I said, well, I don't know what to think about that, because it doesn't seem to fit the bill. But then, as I started discovering things, I could see cuts here and there. Now, at once I thought there was only one cut. But look at that. I think that might have been a cut. 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 You see that blood running through there? And not only is it cut there, it's cut over here. That's a straight through cut. And what did it do? It bled all of this out. That's bled from this region here. That's blood. Now, where else did it get cut? I showed this before, which was the main cut that killed him, is right here. Well, that's what I say killed him. I don't know if it did or not. But I can see that's all the red blood pouring out of that gash. And how big is that gash? It's entirely across the whole thing. All the way, swish, 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 right up to here. You see that? That's a gash straight across there. It looks like somebody put a road through there. Well, you could put a road through a gash, I guess. And that's what they did. Now, and it cut across here, and even the flutiness and everything, this whole thing flipped around. The flutiness is going underneath of itself, where it should have been over the top. Anyway, it was traumatic, let's put it that way. Whatever happened there, gushed blood everywhere. And that is the source of this guy's, to me, that's the death. That's the death blow. It ran everywhere, black and red, just blah, 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 everywhere. Now, so what happened after that? You have all of this effluent. So I'm still having a hard time of going back up his throat, saying, how could this happen? How could he spit this stuff out? And then I get it way up to the front, and I see these glands appear, and they almost look like, I think they call them the villi in the intestines. So here I am. I'm back up here in his throat because I'm looking for two throats. I'm looking for an injection spot. Hold on one second. Get a little sip of tea. Now, so what would happen here? How could he do one injection spot or just two? No, he's only got one. So I follow up the back, all up this nasty stuff coming out of his throat. And I'm looking here, and I'm looking, all of this stuff this is right at where it's coming out of his throat. And that almost looks like it's on fire. Right? So here he is. Here's his throat. You see his throat? Now, let's follow this down. Watch what happens inside of his throat. He's got these glands that squirt this stuff in. See it? See these red pouches all along here? They squirt this in, and then there's another squirter on the other side that squirts in something else, and they mix together. Look at this nasty stuff. All right, that's inside of his throat. Or, you know, I think it's in his throat. See that? Watch this going down here. Come down his throat. Those are all the injectors. And you see him swishing out through here? That was just squirting out through there. And they mingle. You see the bottom ones mingling with the top ones? That's that nasty green stuff mixing with this nasty red stuff. And it's all squirting out his throat. Isn't that something? Look at this. These are like the villi inside of your intestines. Little bumps. Hold on. Okay, back to the dragon. You heard that. That was my wife knocking on the door looking for me. And I tried to explain to her about the dragon spit. And she'd never seen one of my videos. None of my family has in 6 years. And she left in tears after 1 minute. Forced to endure a minute of watching this. But I'm telling you, that's what you run into. And there's no mind for reality that I can find in my own family, and I can't find it anywhere else either. So that's just a fact. Now, this dragon, that's his head, and that is the dragon spit right there. Now, what are we looking at? How did he do that? You see these things? And I'm going to show you what's in your own body. You see this? Those are injectors. Those are injectors. Each one of those is an injector. And these are injectors injecting something up this way. And the two of them streamed together, and that was spit out of his throat. Now, why do I say it's an injector? Let's look at it. All right? I'm going to show you what's in the human body. Something's going on up in here. There's some chemistry going on, and these little lobes come down, and at the end of the lobes, they congeal and they squirt out at the very end something. Now, what it is, I can't tell you. I haven't done the chemistry on it, but this is a different chemistry, quite obviously. The two mix together, and they are going in that direction, spitting. That's what I'm seeing. Now, if you see something different, I'd like to know what you see, because that's what I'm seeing. And it goes all the way down here, so he's got a lot of this stuff going on. You see the same stuff all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Now, it goes, I think they took these at a different time of the day where it has a shadow here. You know, they overlap these. But anyway, this is the side of that dragon. That's the side of his throat. So at this point, I think right here, there's something in his throat that stops and might clean it up or something, because this looks like it squirts something in here. That might have been cut. I don't know. But it seems to stop or get, you know, by this point, it seems to go this way instead of that way. That's what I'm seeing. And you got Google Earth. You can go in here and look at it and see. So I don't know what to say about that particular structure. Is that part of this? Was it cut? Is it just a natural runoff? But I do know up here that that is exactly identical to what you will see in an intestine. And I have gone through this creature's anatomy all the way down to his cloaca, and it has an avian, the bird type excretory system, and they are living in the cloaca runoff, which is right over here. They have huge, not huge, but they have people living in these areas where this cloaca stuff accumulated. See over here? Look at this is all coming running off. This is bird guano, or whatever dragon guano is, and that is coming. I followed it right through his intestines, and through the whole digestive system, and actually right out to the poop when they killed him. So go up here and take your own time. But anyway, you saw these injectors. Now let's go look at the villi. All right, those are intestines. That's an intestine. These are the villi. The same looking structures. They come off of the membrane, the wall, the wall of the intestine in this case, and then in that one it's his throat. But it's the same sort of little sacky things running down to. In this case, it sucks them in. It takes things in from your intestines, from the the digested materials in your intestines. But in the case of the dragon, it's going the other way. It's squirting it out. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so there's the fish and the dragon in the desert, and share this. Tell people this is real. Confront people. You're going to get a lot of pushback. I guarantee you. I've been 6 years, and not a single person that I know will look at this. I put it out. I have like 45,000 people up on YouTube, and I think they're interested. But when you go to confront somebody, you may get a lot of negative pushback. People don't like to be shown things that upsets their delusions. And when they see this, if you don't take this as important, you're out of your freaking mind. If you think this is just a joke, and you think, oh, I don't want to see it because I don't want to see it, well, good for you, because you are screwed. Okay, that was probably a little overreaction to, and I could be totally wrong. I say this 100 times. I could be totally off my rails. I'm just showing what I'm showing. But if you can see what I show, and it's supported quite well, this is not just fantasy that I'm displaying here. If you can see what I'm showing you, and it is what it is, it has some serious meaning. So, to me it does. Now, it may mean nothing to you, and it appears to mean nothing to most people. Absolutely boggles my mind, totally, because, eternity is eternity. It's not a weekend tour. It's not a cruise ship thing. It's not a, boot camp. A couple of weeks, a couple of months of boot camp, and you're all done. No. Not in my mind. You do anything you want. But I think it's time to start paying attention to things where it interrupts your reality. I know this is very, very hard. Very hard. I know, because I probably know better than anybody else how hard this is for somebody to accept. I accepted it because I understand the chemistry, the anatomy, the biology, the texts, and I am deeply interested and intrigued. I'm not dismissing anything. I never dismiss anything. And I go back all the way to the Titans and Gaia and Chaos and all the ancient texts, Ovid and the Metamorphosis. They're absolutely fascinating. And now this Science Channel is going through mythical beasts. And they are showing things that, that's great. I love it. They did the dragon today and the feathered serpent. Totally missed everything, though. That's what's killing me. I feel like a science stalker. I go after Brian Forrester. Brian, look at this, look at this, look at this. Well, he can't look at it and say anything. Otherwise, they'll dismiss him as a wacko, like they do me. And I mean, everybody does. So it's not like it's just my family. It's a common thing that happens. People cannot approach other people with this information. It's too emotional for them to handle. They're not emotionally strong enough to confront this and deal with it. So they push back violently. I mean, kind of not violent. Well, some of them. Anyway, come up here and find out what the reality is. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, and like I said, it's 45,000 people. Oh, by the way, this is getting fabulous. This recent research on arthritis and castor oil. That just, I say research. I'm looking into the chemistry of why it would work, and I think I understand it now, and it does seem to work. And there's all kinds of anecdotal information about that. So this is not just dragons and God and that, rocks and all this. It's all kinds of stuff, health and things. But you got to open your mind up and start to work outside the academic realm, because of what you're hearing over there, that theoretical stuff. It's all been somebody wants to get a bit smarter than somebody else, so they come up with some really unbelievable, convoluted stories to take over some region of science. Now, I'm not trying to take over anything. I'm just showing what I have. I'm going to do a book and so forth. I'm going to have to. Otherwise, it's getting very, very mixed up now. And it'll be up here on Mudfossil University, which is the new site we're setting. I'm not doing it, but I'm going to do the book, and Jody and Zarar are going to edit it and do all that stuff, and I'm just doing the research. But up here it has the DNA test is here, and all that business. So, and then we'll have links to all the different, you want to look up how skin gets petrified and how, lungs or whatever it is. We'll try to make it as interactive as we can. Try to make it understandable as a new science, so that it doesn't get all confused. Because right now people are making all kind of guesses, very confusing statements of people that didn't do the anatomy, the DNA, the biology. They just making the look and going from there. Now, I showed you the dragon. I'm going by the look, but I'm also going by the chemistry. I'm going by the blood. I'm going by the anatomy. I'm going by biology. It's not something that I'm just guessing at either. I haven't done the chemistry on site. I'd love to, but I'm not going to go there myself. But I'd love to see it done. Anyway, come up to here, mudfossils.com. It's Mudfossil University on .com site, and then we have Mudfossil University on Facebook and Mudfossil University on YouTube. All right. So thank you. God bless you, and I hope that you see something here that makes any sense for you, or maybe you just think it's silly. But that's your free will.